Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling at the moment? Today's topic is on connecting versus disconnecting. And both have their advantages, both have their disadvantages. Depending on the circumstance, your experience, what you're going through, the people that you interact with, and overall the context of your life. And we usually attribute connection with something good and disconnection with something bad. But you can connect with a toxic person and keep that connection, and that's bad. Or you can disconnect from a toxic person, and that's good. Remember, as human beings, we are constantly connecting and disconnecting with people. We choose when we break our communication and when we don't invest in relationships and what we choose to engage in, what we choose to ignore. And connecting is choosing in general to form bonds and relationships. You have to find common ground, an icebreaker, a way of getting to know each other, understanding one another. And by doing that, you connect. And when you connect, you are able to get to know the person better. You are able to understand their model of the world better. And you can't strengthen a bond or a connection if you're choosing to disconnect the whole time. Because if you're doing that, if you're disconnecting from healthy relationships, then it can be seen as a form of self-sabotage and self-destruction. And think of this in an objective context, okay? Disconnecting is also choosing not to further a relationship. Whether in a positive or negative context is irrelevant. Disconnection is when you choose no longer to further a relationship, when you don't put any effort in, any work in, you don't try and preserve the relationship or strengthen the bond. And that's when we choose to disconnect, when we no longer want the relationship, when we no longer want the connection, when we have broken the bond because of trust issues, because of manipulation, because of exploitation, whatever that person may have used you for. So if you connect, you're choosing to form relationships. And when you're disconnecting, you're choosing to break relationships. Remember, you can also disconnect from yourself. And this is not a good thing, because when you disconnect with yourself, you're not able to deal with your reality and you're not able to deal with your limitations, and you won't be able to take on any of your challenges. And when you disconnect from the self, it is known as dissociation, where you're no longer in your own reality. You're no longer a part of your own life. You're just stuck in this loop that's going constantly in your mind, and that will affect your sanity at a point. And disconnecting from the self is very harmful and very self-destructive. Because of that, we cannot deal with our traumas. We are unaware of ourselves. We have no self-awareness. We can't manage our emotions, their intensities, our thought processes, how we reinforce behaviors, and the habits we engage in. Remember, connecting with the self is incredibly important, because that's your inner relationship. That's your strongest support system. And not connecting with yourself is not relating to yourself, not being able to form a relationship with yourself. Remember, you need to heal the inner relationship. And you need to heal the inner child. You have to heal that hurt. And the only way you can heal that hurt is to accept yourself and to connect with yourself, so that you are able to perceive what needs to change and to be able to internalize your reality in a constructive way. Connection with the self is the strongest connection you'll have. And remember, connecting with others adds value to our lives, because the quality of our lives will be dependent on the quality of our relationships and how strong those bonds are. Because if you have a healthy support system, you've got great friends, a great partner, great family, you are less likely to be depressed, less likely to feel unfulfilled. Because if you have people behind you rooting for you every single day, then you're going to want to connect even more. But when we are not motivated to connect, that's when we choose to dissociate. But remember, your relationships are important, because without healthy relationships, we ourselves cannot be healthy. If you're in toxic relationships, you will become toxic to yourself. And disconnection, what we don't always realize, can lead to isolation. When we no longer want to engage, we no longer want to socialize, we no longer want to be around others, we just retract into ourselves. And that isolation is what causes stagnation, complacency, the feeling of emptiness, the feeling of purposelessness, because we're not meant to be isolated. We are by nature very social beings, and we always look for connection because it adds value, it adds purpose to our existence, to share that experience with others. And disconnection can cause depression, because when you disconnect, you have nothing you're looking forward to, no goals you're working on, and you just sort of keep reinforcing this depression over and over, and that causes you to disconnect more. Depression is a numb state, a state of numbness, and if you can't feel anything, then you're not experiencing anything. And depression makes it difficult to connect, because when you're depressed, you don't want to go out, you don't want to socialize, you don't want to be around people. But actually, that may be the best thing for you when you're depressed, is to go out, forget about everything for an hour or two, laugh, chat, open up, and it will add value and meaning to your existence. And remember to always be connected to your reality at the present moment. As soon as you start thinking here and thinking there and thinking there, you're not living now. You're either living in the past or living in the present, which you can't do, because we only exist in the now. We don't exist back then anymore. No, that's already happened. And we can't exist in what's going to happen. So be connected and grounded in where you are now. Take life's experiences for what it is. Accept it. Because if you're not connected and grounded, you can't grow in maturity. You cannot grow in personal development. You cannot grow within yourself. Always be present, because that is the only point in time when you can truly live. And we learn through our connections. We don't always realize this, but we learn through other people. We build knowledge, experience, understanding, insight, value, meaning, all through other people. If you don't know something and you ask someone, you learn through that connection. And that's what strengthens the bonds and deepens the relationships as well. And that's why connection is good, when we are learning and growing and fulfilling. And constant disconnection from others could be a sign of social anxiety. Now, the thing is with social anxiety, it's not that people don't want to talk. It's not that people don't want to socialize. It's the fear of abandonment, rejection, embarrassment and shame for being themselves, so they don't know how to be themselves. But when you connect more, then you connect more with yourself. Remember, connecting in healthy relationships is how we learn and grow, but disconnection can be very harmful. And your social anxiety can only be challenged by being more social. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that stunning person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.